Hi, Luke.
Hi. So what I thought I would do would be to do a few slides to frame things and then give everyone a chance to experience some gaming. Would that be okay?
Yes, Luke. And Luke, I have made you co-host, so you have the ability. So if you want to switch here and between the breakout rooms, you can. So I have created you co-host as well.
Okay, and then just for timing perspective, how long do we have in the session? Because I'm going to set a timer for myself.
It's 60 minutes starting from now.
Okay, so 60 minutes. So I'll set a timer at like 45 or 50. I'll set a timer at 50 minutes so we have plenty of time to talk, but I don't think we'll need that long. First, thank you everyone for staying up late. I know that it's challenging when we're working in a global environment to manage time zones. And I always appreciate when I'm working globally for people who are staying up late or getting up early, because we're all, you know, committed, but we also have families and we have lives. So I just wanted to let everyone know that I'm appreciative of the fact that it's kind of late for you guys. And I know you'll all say, oh, we're used to it or whatever, but I still appreciate you. What I want to talk about today is how we've used collaborative gaming and techniques in a nonprofit environment and in schools. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen. And all of these materials will be available. You can just ask me. So can you see my screen okay?
Yep. Yes, we can.
So we're going to talk about participatory budgeting in schools. And this is my nonprofit, Every Voice Engaged Foundation. And I'm going to talk specifically about Sunnyvale Middle School, which is a school that my kids have attended. Now, I don't know if these breaks will match India, but in America, the schools go K through 6, which is you know, roughly about 6 years old to about 13. So K through 5 or K through 6, and then we have a middle school, and then we have a high school, and then we go into college. So usually most countries have some similar structure. Sometimes there's only 2. Sometimes they're, you know, in smaller communities. So when I'm talking about this project, I want you to think about kids who are 11, 12, 13, 14. It's that age range of a kid. So they're not full adults, but they're certainly cognitively capable of talking about concepts. And then I'm going to show you what they did. And then I'm going to ask you what you would do. And then I'm going to compare your results with what the kids did. So I'm going to talk about, right now, I'm going to talk about the, whoop, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to go to the way that I introduced this project to the parents. So this is the actual presentation that I gave to the parents, because I had to get the parents on board with the idea that we're going to give money to the kids. So think about it as a parent. I'm walking up to all the other parents and I'm saying, you're not going to have a choice in this process. We're going to give the money to the kids, and the kids are going to choose. So the parents had to be supportive of this. So I'm going to talk about how we organized it. And in America, we have something called the Common Core. And I'll talk about how this relates to learning for the kids. So, and again, I just don't know enough about how India is organized. So I'm just explaining it from my perspective. In American schools, we have something called the Parent-Teacher Association, which is usually a group of parents who are committed to helping the school succeed. So the PTA granted $1,000 to the kids. And so the kids did all the work. The students created ideas. There was a student leadership team which reviewed the ideas to select specific project proposals. The students worked together using the same Weave platform that you've used to select the projects. And then when the projects were done, the PTA used the money and they funded those projects. So if you think about this, this maps into design thinking. This maps into all of the things that we want to teach our kids. They generate ideas, they shape the ideas, and then they prioritize. And we do this all the time in business. We do this all the time, every time we're doing PI planning, every time we're doing iteration planning, anytime we're creating a new company, right? What are our ideas? How do we shape it? How do we prioritize? So what happened was, and again, remember, this is the deck that I used for the parents. So we created an image of the school, and the students used the platform to generate ideas on how to make the school better. And Brian Brown was the teacher that we worked with, and he managed this. And so the student leadership team was organized. Now notice that it said only students and teachers will be allowed to access these forums. So the platform has a lot of security controls. Most of the time you don't need them, you know, because you're working internally in a company. But the platform was configured so that only students with the proper email address could enter the forums. If you didn't have the proper email address and if you weren't authenticated, you couldn't enter the forums. And then finally, the students voted on the forums, and we're going to do that as a team. Now, there's something in the United Nations called 21st Century Skills for Teaching or for Learning. And in America, that's called the Common Core. And there's 4 things, right? We want to promote creativity, communication, critical thinking, and collaboration. And as you can see on the screen, doing participatory budgeting equips our children with direct experience on relevant topics that they manage and they control. Now, Brian Brown managed the student leadership team, helped promote. The homeroom teachers manage the forum. My company, Intenio, before it was acquired, and my nonprofit, Every Voice Engaged Foundation, we did all of the back-end infrastructure and all the help. So we did all of the work as facilitators. Now, there were FAQs the students had, right? And the parents would want to know, right? How do we control? We don't want people joining a forum and creating a bad environment for our children. And do the students need accounts in the platform? And the way the platform is constructed, you can join and participate in a forum without creating an account. So you don't have to create an account. Do teachers need accounts? Now, because the teachers are facilitators, the platform does require them to log in and have an identity, and so they're managing that. And then where is the data stored? And we've got a back-end secure, and I know everyone says that, you know, everyone likes to say, oh, my back-end system is secure, but our back-end system is, we use ProvenSec for penetration testing. We use Splunk for continuous system monitoring. We use Qualys for looking at our desktop environments and our deployment environments. We are Cisco Casper Security certified. We are Salesforce Partner Security certified. We are eBay FinTech Security certified. So we care a great deal about security, and we put a lot of effort into the platform to making sure it's GDPR compliant, it is CCPA compliant, it is HIPAA compliant. So you throw us regulations, and we're trying to be compliant with all those regulations. Now, there were some responsibilities for the teachers, right? They had to create an account, and then we managed the unique forums. Now, that's what I said to the parents. And the parents were like, okay, we approve the project, let's go forward. Now I have kids. So I created a little video that was shown to all of the kids playing. So you can see that this was the overview, and then this one says for students. So this is the version of what we told the kids in the middle school. And it was very simple, right? We're going to give you $1,000. You're in control. And you're going to create ideas. You're going to shape them into proposals. And you're going to pick the priorities, and we're going to fund it. And this now describes statically how the kids are going to work. And this was the older use case, and Facebook really similar, where students would drag it, and you can kind of see that this is the map of the school. Recognize, it's a fairly common school, and then this is the, the athletic field. Now, this forum is no longer valid. So if you tried to join it, the platform would say this forum is over. But we gave the kids this forum, and notice I said, let's see what happens when you join the forum using this URL. You're going to put in your name and email, and then the platform is going to email an authorization code to the person. So this is the kind of security that we have in the platform to make sure that the right people are joining. Then we gave the kids some advice, be respectful and tolerant and be reasonable, right? You only have $1,000. Now, we also let the kids know that everything that they do in the platform is recorded. And I kind of reminded the kids that because everything is being recorded, you really do need to be respectful, because your teachers and your parents will know what you say. And we want to reinforce that there are etiquette behaviors in being a good digital citizen. And then we wanted them to be curious, right? If someone put an idea on the board, ask people about it. And that was the very brief introduction to the kids. So now let's go back and let's see, we've done this for a few years in a row. So let's see what the kids did. Now, they created ideas. And if you look closely, each of these little icons represent an idea from the kid. And so this one says smoothies. And this one says, replace the grass with turf, put in new basketball nets. A different forum with a different group of kids talked about building a half pipe, which is for skateboards, a pond, which is kind of a silly idea. And, more in the library, it says more books. Here, we had a water bottle refilling station and a gaming room. So the kids had a regular drinking fountain, and then they wanted to add a water bottle refilling station. Now, as you can imagine, some of these ideas are really good, and some of these ideas are silly, and some of these ideas are impossible because they're too much money, and some of these ideas are affordable, but they have to be shaped into proposals. All told, the kids created more than 480 unique ideas in affecting all parts of the school. We then ground those ideas down, and in the first year that we did it, what the kids actually picked when the process was done was they picked a water refilling station. So they had a regular drinking fountain, and then the kids picked a water bottle refilling station. Now the adults were shocked, right? Because the adults were like, we never would have thought of that. We didn't know our kids were so responsible. Look at what they did, et cetera, et cetera. So what now I want to do is I want to take another year. So we've been doing this for a long time now at Sunnyvale Middle School. And I'm going to give you another, we've done another version of this a few years ago. And I'm going to give you a chance to see what you would pick as an adult. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to join this forum. So let me go ahead and grab this forum. And the system is going to automatically put you into a group. And that group is going to be 5 people. And you're going to see a list of items, and this is by a feature. So you're going to see a list of items, and you're going to pick the items that are important to you. And you're going to do this now. And as soon as you join the forum, you only have 15 minutes to pick. So I'm going to go over to my Weave console. And I'm going to jump in. And you can see that I'm listed as the facilitator, and I can start to see people join in. Now, you can look. I'm going to go ahead and I'm still sharing my screen, right? You guys can still see my screen? Someone thumb up?
No, Luke, we are not.
We are not able to see your
screen.
Okay,
let me share my screen. Okay, So you
Yes,
can see
now we are.
in this particular forum, I am the facilitator, but I've got other people. You can put your mouse over an item to learn about the item. And here you can see how much the item is costing in this cost column. But notice that you have $1,000, but there's almost $3,000 in cost. So you can't get everything. So here's the rule. Only fully funded items will be implemented. So the only thing, for example, if LOPA wanted to fund something, LOPA could buy the basketball nets because that's only, $95, but LOPA couldn't get the 3D printer and supplies. So you've only got, and I would get to work because you've only got 13 more minutes to make your choices. So get to work as a team, use the chat facility or just talk, but be careful about talking because we've got multiple forums running in parallel. So go ahead and check out the other forums, or I'm sorry, go ahead and check out the items. I'm going to check out the other forums.
It is not letting me go come. It is saying set up your Weave account, and it is not letting me in.
I think
Because
Luke, it is asking
previously
password.
tried to enter a form. Use a different email for now. Just use a different email.
Okay.
And we've got 30 people here, which is very good. We've got several forums up and running. And notice that I'm in the facilitator of forum number 2. The other forums are self-moderating. So you have to do the discussion on your own in all of the other forums. So I'm just going to be quiet now. I'm going to turn off screen sharing, and I'm going to let you guys get to work.
Ashish mural. Ashish.
Hello? Yeah, Vikas.
Ashish mural, right? I think this is required. No?
Mural.
Let me see what is this thing mural. It's
Vikas, you can't say you think it without giving a reason.
no, I'm giving it. No. Yeah.
You have to give a reason. Why?
So why? Because the benefit is brighter, more colorful school campus. This is more see, colors are everything for kids, right? And mural helps in terms of bringing more bright colors, actually, right? Color. That's one of the reasons. See, I feel mural. Hey, how many of you would like mural? We need more money. I'm okay to put some more.
Like what I think of, like when we have budget of like $1,000, so why not multiple things we can cover with a lesser cost which are available.
Yeah, multiple things with a lesser color money, and I would prefer a beneficial thing first, actually, right? Just as what do you think, actually?
How are we pooling the money? Because everybody's got $200 each.
Yeah, so I think we all need to pool the money together to buy the topmost first thing, actually, right? First.
Yeah, so we need to pull in the money.
So I have Ashish, I have Namrata, I have Praveen Jain, I have Kaman Graver with me. Yeah, and I'm the only guy who is funding at this moment. Please, I need mural.
Okay, how do I talk to the people I am in? Apparently, I can see them.
See, on top of Weave, you might see basically people you are in. Yeah, $50. Ashish, you also need mural, right? Okay, let me buy mural actually because I really need it. I love it for colors. Hey, it's funded. Yes, but I'm done with this.
Guys, I'm not able to get in. How can I go?
You've got to use a different email. If you're using an email that you've used in a past forum and you have not authenticated yourself with the platform is saying, hey, I don't know if I can trust you because you've used an email in the past, but you haven't confirmed that email. Again, I would use a different email.
I've tried, Luke. I have tried another email as well. It is just asking to register.
Namrata,
then you got to go through the registration process at the platform. Yeah. Or just wait. I mean, you're just, this is a demo, so, we might just wait a little bit.
So because one person can't buy a mural, right? Because it's 250 and we only have 200.
No. So I don't know. So we bought it mural already. See, we are working in multiple forums. Luke has used a Gala, if I'm correct.
Yeah, but
Yes, I'm using a very
How do you
advanced
see if they've bought
capability.
it?
Sorry.
You have to know which forum you're in,
how do you
guys.
see
You're
if some
all in
forum has
different.
bought it?
Okay, I'm in
You're all in
Funconf
different forums.
2024. 2024. Funconf 2024. Ashish, Cameron, Namrata with
so
me.
who's in FunCon 2025? Because
Okay.
everybody's buying individual.
You guys are in different forums. Okay, let me talk for a second. If you look at my screen, right? Let's look at my screen. You're acting like you're all in one forum, and you're not.
Correct.
The system has automatically grouped you into a set of forums.
All right.
So this is this forum. So we've got Pooja and Todd here, but over here we've got Lopa and other people. And I'm not going to try and say your names because I'll get it wrong and I don't want to offend anyone. Over here I've got Ginger and Priya. So these forums need to be local to the forum because the system automatically organizes large groups of people into small collaborative teams. So when Vikas is talking, he's only talking to the people in his forum. He's not talking to the people over here. So that's why you want to use the chat. Don't try not to use too much of this.
Yeah. Namrata, you have money left, right? Can we buy something? Namrata, come and grab it.
So Vikas, can you chat on your group because this is sort of disturbing.
No problem. Very sorry.
Yeah, that's the reason the confusion started because.
Okay.
So
Namrata. Okay.
And I gave you all the good ideas, even though in a different group. Because the pulling idea was mine. Just kidding.
That's something to remember. If you're running a large number of forums, sometimes the Zoom feature doesn't work very well, and you want to use the chat. Now you've only got a few more minutes. You've only got about 5 minutes.
I mean, I did use the chat, but nobody responded back. So I think there's a flaw there as well. So,
well, you have to work on it.
Yeah.
It's
so I guess since nobody's pooling with me, I'll just go with what I can buy.
That doesn't seem very collaborative.
I asked everyone to pull in and nobody responded back. So I can't go over my budget. I think people are still trying to get used to this. Maybe that's one reason.
Guys, please fund so that.
So, Prabhat, can you please reply on the chat?
Luke, we are done, I think. Four done.
Well, how much time do you have left on your timer at the top?
We still have 4 minutes 30 seconds.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah.
5 minutes. So are you sure you're done? Is everyone, you might want to check in the chat if everyone is satisfied.
Yeah.
We are also done, Luke.
All right. So should we stop the forums and look at the results?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. So let's go ahead and go back to the Zoom, and I'll share my screen, and I'll show you a little bit about the user interface that may be useful. In Weave, we have a dashboard, and the dashboard has my currently running forums. Now, this is what we call a gala. And a gala is designed when you have a large group of people and you want to give one URL to everyone to make it easy to organize people in the forums. So look at what we did. We dispatched 50 people into 10 forums in just a few minutes. So we were able to engage a whole bunch of people collaboratively. Extreme now. That I can have many forums running in parallel. I can also look at the forums that I've completed, et cetera, et cetera. So now if I click on this icon, it takes me into the details, and notice it says that it's currently running and these forums are still running. Now my forum over here, the details of my forum, if I go into it, says that it was, it is actually running, but I could stop it if you will. I don't have to stop it though. So I'm going to let them run. And what I'm instead going to do is I'm going to, and these are all of the people who participated, right? How quickly they got in and who they were and all that kind of stuff. And so what I'm going to look at now is I'm going to look at the analysis of the results. So if I click here and I want to analyze the forum results, I get a quick snapshot of what was going on. So of the forums, about 8 of them fully funded it, and down here, the items are no one this is pretty clear insight into the priorities of the group. But notice there's a lot of tension around the 3. When you see a result that looks like this, what you're seeing is something that is desirable, but maybe perceived as too expensive, or something that people aren't really sure about. And I can start to look at each of the details, and I can start to individually identify, oh, look at Pooja partially funded the printer. I can look at, here it was fully funded. In this forum, again, it was partially funded. Now look at this forum. There's 2 items that are partially funded. And what it really means is that this forum only achieved agreement on the flex shaft and the jeweler set. By definition, none of these other items will be done because there's not enough money. We're not gonna, for the people in this forum, for Ginger and Praveen and Priya, you're not gonna get anything other than the flex shaft and the jeweler's file set, even though you had more money, because you couldn't reach agreement as a team. So the rule of the forums are that only fully funded items are going to be implemented. If it's not fully funded, we can't afford it. Now, this is really critical to teach our children, because what we're trying to teach them is what we would talk about in business. No business wants to start a project that's underfunded. We all have done that. We've all experienced how horrible it is to try and work on a project where you need 3 developer teams for 4 months, and all you get is 1 team for 2 months. Who wants to work on I call those zombie projects. It's like they walk around dead trying to steal resources from other projects. Who wants that? We don't want zombie projects. We can't buy half a mural. We can't spend $200 for the campus beautification. We can't get a 3D printer for $300. We have to spend $500. So these partial funded items provide a lot of insight. Now here's an example of a forum where everything was funded. Okay, great. You know, this team found a way to collaborate. And I'm not saying one team is better or not. I'm simply saying one team found a path that enabled them to collaborate. Now, the other thing that the platform does is it tracks every event. So what we can do in our running forums or in our dashboard is I can actually go here and I can download the forum results in Excel. And for those of you who are really interested in all sorts of, you know, detailed analysis in Excel, you can see, you know, the forum content, you know, who all the participants were, you know, where they came, right? Most of you came from Delhi, but some of you, and I know this is really hard to read, it's really small. Let me see if I can zoom in on it. You know, I can see where you kind of came from. I came from Sunnyvale, someone from Tucson, someone from Noida, which is fantastic. I can look at the final bids of every person, which allows me to look at the bid intensity. And I can even see, if I need to, I'm gonna move this.
Luke, you're on a mute.
Luke, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to move the item and I guess I hit the mute button. Sometimes the Zoom controls get in the way of your screen. So you can see every single event time-stamped from what it is. So for those of you who do detailed data analytics, you can see these results. Now let's go back to the platform. And again, let's see what you guys purchased, because it's been running. Now I see that it hasn't changed much, which is fine. So you would have funded with your money probably the flex shaft, the garden netting, the chain basketball nets, and then we'd have to have some discussions. Let's see what the kids chose, right? Because remember, it's not about what adults think is good for the kids. It's what do the kids think is good for themselves?
Right.
And this is the empowerment that we're looking for in Agile. This is the decentralization principle of SAFE. It's not up to the portfolio management to tell the value streams what to do. The portfolio funds the value streams, but then the value streams take the money and they do a good job with it, managing their program backlog. So let's see what the kids chose. And voila, the kids chose a 3D printer because they wanted to equip the school art lab with the 3D printer and start to learn something that their parents are using at work and something that would help prepare them for a future job, because they know things like additive manufacturing and 3D printing are part of the future. Now, I'm going to say that, you know, what will you do? And I'm here to share your goals in the chat. You can email me, you can talk. I've sent some materials that we'll be sharing, but I'm going to turn off the stop sharing, or if I need to, I'll turn it back on and you guys can see me. And I want everyone to know that I am granting personally $1,000 to Deepti, and she is going to find a school in India, and her requirement to take the money is that that school and those kids in that school have to be in control. So we need people to help Deepti run this project in a school in India, so I can see if these ideas work as well in India, which I think they will, as they do in the other parts of the world that I've worked in. And I know we've got time, but I wanted to make sure that we had time to answer questions and stay on track with the conference. And we can have a conversation, we can have a chat, whatever people feel comfortable with.
idea, Luke, but I think there are many schools in India as well. I know about my daughter's school that they also do these kind of.
Namrata, we won't be able to hear you properly. Can you speak up, please?
Okay.
Namrata, your voice is low. Yeah.
So I was saying there are schools in India as well who are currently running these kind of initiatives. And my daughter's school is one of them. We know that they have a budget where kids decide what they need for their.
That's really fantastic. I mean, that's very exciting for me. I have a big passion to see this brought to as many places in the world as possible, and as many schools and kids and communities as possible. I'm excited to hear that.
Luke, there's a question actually, right? Now, if we are funding it for projects, should we give it to the portfolio, execs, or why don't value stream?
So I think Vikas switched into more of a corporate setting. So I want to make sure that we're all in alignment on the question. So I think Vikas switched into a corporate setting, and he's talking about safe, lean portfolio management. The answer is that the job of a value stream is to optimize its part of the solution, but the job of the portfolio is to optimize the whole. So if you only give the value stream involved, the value stream is going to be selfish, right? So you have this dynamic tension. Let me share my screen again. If I share my screen, right? The idea is that, and I'll create a new presentation, and I'll just try to draw this. And let me change my pen color to black so I can draw for you guys, right? In SAFE, the portfolio function is here, and the program level function is here in the big picture. The idea here is that this group of people down at the program level is optimizing their value stream, right? They're selfish. Vikas, you've worked with me, and if I am a product manager, I'm going to ask for as many resources as I can get, because I want my product to be as successful as possible. But so does other people. And so product managers, in a sense, are competing for a shared resource. So what we do in Scaled Agile is that we invite these people to participate as a team in forums along with the business owners and the other executives. And what we find is that when you have this kind of participation, you create better consensus, and you balance the idea that the portfolio is intended to optimize the whole, whereas the value stream is intended to optimize its portion of the whole. Oh, just a second.
Thanks, Luke.
Come say hi. Okay, hey everyone,
thanks,
just
Luke.
a second. Just a second. This is my friend Vikas, who've heard so much about. This is one of my kids. Hi. This is Danella. This is my friends all throughout the world. It's India, it's Europe. We're having a conference.
Dubai.
Cool.
I'm from Dubai as well.
What?
So.
Do you know what's for dinner tonight? Do I know what's for dinner tonight? No, I don't know what's for dinner tonight. Why are you? Okay.
Everybody needs to know that.
Everyone, this is a teenager. It is 9:30 in the morning. Hi, Dad. What's for dinner? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? The first thing in the morning. It is 9:30. Todd. Okay. Todd says that I have to let you decide what's for dinner. What do you want?
Well, why don't you just task her?
Todd.
Ask her to fund it. Ask her to fund it.
Mom's probably getting her workout in. I don't know if she's for a run or not, but okay. I gotta finish this. I'll come back. Bye. Good. Bye. Make her make dinner. Yes, we do make the kids make dinner, and they're actually pretty good cooks. the reason she said the whiteboard didn't have dinner is because in the home and house we have 4 teenagers, and that's a lot of food. And my wife gets tired of answering what's for dinner, so she has a menu on the whiteboard. And we have a whiteboard in the hall, and it has the menu, but apparently Jenna didn't update it yet. Okay, enough of the dinner. Back to this. Vadavelin said that he's a CSR supporting a lot of schools and NGOs. Great, I can't wait. Yes, we are breeders, happily so. Any other questions or thoughts? You know, I tried to go as quick as I could to get the basics across, and I'm sure you've all got the basics, but I also wanted to make sure that you guys can ask me any tough question that you want. I am good with tough questions or easy ones if you want to ask me an easy one.
One question, Luke, I have been using Weave for some time. When I was trying to use it with people around, they find it little difficult. It's not a very easy tool. Any help available, and you know, that is one feedback that I'm getting when we are trying to use it. With mature people, I must say, the kids are very quick in using it because they love experimenting.
Yeah,
Namrata,
sorry, Namrata. My son uses it at the age of 9.5. So again, I think it totally depends upon, do we know this tool very well? Yeah, and you have a very right question, Luke. Help, I think that's probably, you know, a lot of people need it actually, right?
Yeah. You know, software is kind of a curious thing, right? Because no matter how easy you make something to use or how good you think it is, it can always be made better. And so I appreciate what you're asking. My general strategy is, and this is a phrase, and Vikas has taken my master class. So he flew all the way over here, and I teach a very special experiential master class. It's actually kind of hard, but it's a, right, Vikas? But it's a good hard, right? But one of the things, it's a good hard. One of the things that I like to say to everyone, and this is important, whether it's Weave or any other game, right? Any other game, any experience, and listen to me carefully, and I'll type it into everyone in the chat. To play the game, you need to play a game. And the reason I'm saying that is, pick any game you've ever played. Settlers of Catan, Monopoly, a card game. For those of you who like, we have tons of games in our house, but I'm trying to pick the ones that are very common. Bridge, cricket, whatever game you've played, the very first time you play that game, you're not playing the game, you're learning how to play the game. So in every engagement I do, I try to create a experience that is a warm-up that is doesn't count. And so to help adults learn or to help adults grow, I'll create a trial game, often using something fun or something interesting, and that teaches the interactions of the platform, right? What are the mechanics of the platform? How do I log in? How do I add an item? And you can do that, Namrata, in 10 or 15 minutes as a precursor. And so just keep in mind that to play the game, whatever you want people to do in a serious way, you need to play at least a game first to help them grasp the material, grasp the contents, learn what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. And I would suggest that one of the problems we have as facilitators is that we've been working on something for weeks or days, and we're ready to go. We've been thinking about it. And the game starts and everyone goes, how come people aren't playing? Well, what you've been spending days or weeks on, and one event that I produced took me an entire year to plan. It was that complex. And Vikas, he helped produce an event in Bangalore with 1,000 people. It took 4 months of planning, right? So we've been working on this for so long that we forget that the people who come in, this might be the very first time they've seen it. And so you're like, why aren't you playing? And they're like, whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here? What do you want me to do now, Amrata? So try now that doesn't mean I'm dodging the question or dodging the feedback about making the platform better. Absolutely, you know, we definitely want to continue to improve usability and invest in the platform, and we're going to keep doing it. But regardless of usability, there's still like the cognition of what is this game and how does it work.
Thanks, Luke. I was just checking, am I the only one who is giving, or is it like the feedback earlier as well? Or are there some videos that we can quickly play with them? Because we generally as a coaches sometimes don't get months to prepare for it. It's like every day is a day for us and we have to move on with the teams and you know, interact with them. And that is where I was just checking. And I got
you guys, this is a little dated, but until Scaled Agile creates a better course, there's a free course I put together about how to use the platform, which you may find helpful.
Sure, thanks.
Okay, come on. You don't have more questions for me? This is like, how many more times are you gonna have a chance to hang out with me? Not like I'm some cool guy, but I am nice, and I have a really sweet daughter.
So what is your role, Luke, other than, I mean, do you work for Scaled Agile as well?
Yeah, Scaled Agile acquired my company. So I had an independent company.
Oh, wow.
And it was, so I was acquired by Scaled Agile in May of last year. So I'm now a member of the Scaled Agile Framework team. So if you go to Scaled Agile Framework, can you see my screen again?
Yep.
Yeah, I can.
And if I select full safe, the parts of the framework that I am responsible for are lean portfolio management, which is kind of all of this stuff here, and agile product delivery, which is things like product owners, product managers, customer centricity, the CDP, the solution. And I am the principal author of the Safe POPM class, the Safe APM class, and the Safe LPM classes. So if you like those classes, thank you. And if you don't like those classes, give me feedback to make them better. But I'm in the process of updating LPM. I just finished an update, a huge update to POPM. So I'm the principal author of those 3 classes.
Wow. So how's the best way to reach you in case we do have to?
If it's philanthropic, I'm typing it in. And if it's Scaled Agile, and if it's for beer.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Or tequila, I prefer tequila, but if it's for beer or tequila, you can reach me there.
Hey, Luke, this is Todd. Real quick question with the decision engine within Weave. Have you been able to use that to conduct data for like an assessment or any sort of attributes that weren't involving dollars?
Well, the concept of the economy and a decision engine is a shared resource that's limited. So you could use points, you could use hours if you're doing like a voluntary contribution to a shared project. I would say though that the different engines in Weave are optimized to support, in a sense, a certain kind of cognitive structure. And so decision engine really is a convergent thinking model, right? Now you can, Todd, configure the forum in a decision engine to allow people to add ideas in real time. The challenge, the benefit is you get the ideas. The challenge is you have to have a subject matter expert to price them relative to the other items. So we have 12 minutes. Thank you, Anupam. So my recommendation is, the one area where I've seen Decision Engine really powerful is when we do enterprise retrospectives on tech debt. And because again, you have architects who have this vision of what the system should be and how it should work. And then you actually have people who do real work in the system who know what's causing them problems. And so one of the things that I've done, Todd, with more advanced organizations is go to the teams and run retrospectives, and then from the retrospectives create projects, and then the product management team will take a capacity allocation to tech debt, and then let the teams pick what projects to fund, not the architects. Again, distribute that decision making down to the people who are doing the work and get them engaged. So I don't know if that quite answers your question, but that's really probably the closest you're going to get with Decision Engine.
Perfect. That was great. Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate it. That did.
And thanks for being here, Todd. I know you as a mate from all the Agile conferences, and it's an honor to have you here.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I'm glad I started following you on LinkedIn, because that's how I found out about this conference. So thanks for everyone for letting me observe today. It's been awesome to learn about everything today. It was great. Thank you.
Okay, I think we've got time for one or two more questions. You guys ask short questions. I give long-winded answers. We're all set.
Luke, I have a question. Like, see, the similar way, like the practice we discuss on the school. So if you'll be considering on the companies, like what happens, the stakeholders for the like different features are different. Okay, so for specific feature, the stakeholders are more concerned on how much they wanted to like onboard their feature onto production, and what will be their ROI. They have a different mindset on that. Okay, so when we see like connecting everyone into the same forum, so when they do have different priorities in their different plate, okay, so connecting everyone, how it will work on that, like when you don't have any centralized like power, like the center power to decide. Yes,
that's right. And welcome to life, right? If you're a product manager, you're serving a set of customers, and those customers have different priorities. And it doesn't matter if you're an internal product manager serving internal customers, or if you're an external product manager serving external customers with a product. You know, when I was the CEO of Weave, I was the acting product manager of Weave. My customers were people like Salesforce, eBay, BMW, RELX Group, Verifone. They all had their own priorities, right? So the normal way that people work, if I go back to sharing my screen, the normal way that product managers work is really horrible. Here's a customer, and the product manager talks to that customer and gets that customer's priorities. Then here's another customer, and the product manager talks to that person and gets that person's priorities. If you keep doing that, all the product manager has done is created a huge pile of work for themselves, because they are putting themselves in the position of trying to sort through the priorities of people with competing interests. The smart product managers use Decision Engine, and they bring the customers into the forum, and they let the customers argue with each other. And they observe that interaction and that behavior, just like you did. You had different opinions about how to spend the money. And so my feeling is that when you start asking about what's going to happen is people are going to disagree, and they're going to debate, and they're going to work to a consensus. And that's what you want.
Makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
One more question, or we end early, but boy, I'm really thankful that you're all here. I mean, 50 people on late at night is kind of a real honor for me.
So Luke, just one quick question. Maybe the answer may not finish in time. You mentioned about LPM, that you deal with LPM and stuff.
Yes.
Just wondering if you have ever got feedback from customers about the challenges they're faced in LPM. I mean, what kind of challenges do they face at the portfolio level from customer feedback to SAFe?
Well, the primary challenge that organizations face in moving to either SAFe or scaled Agile or other forms of Agile, to be honest, is moving from project-based models of work to value stream-based models of work. It's moving from centralization of control to empowerment. I mean, these are all the Agile values that we believe in and that we care about, and they're really hard, right? It's really hard to decentralize. So I think in terms of that, I would say the only other thing is that my work is based on a lot of knowledge of like templates. And so to really be effective, you do have to have a little bit of investment in learning templates like the business model canvas, or the value proposition canvas, or the SWOT and TOES. And the reality is that's why product portfolio management tends to be done by people with a little bit more experience, because it takes a little bit of time to understand different templates and different thinking tools. I've helped organizations work on portfolios as big as $2 billion over a 10-year investment horizon.
Right.
That's a lot of money.
Yep.
Like that is a lot of money to manage. And so we have 5 minutes left. Fantastic. So I think it's just making sure that you're kind of aligning the tools and the techniques with the size of the money and the time horizon.
Absolutely. But I think the biggest practical challenge is is the funding aspect, because finance doesn't get into Agile that quickly, whereas the IT and the business are still getting into Agile.
Well,
So
your job is to convert your estimates into numbers and elements that finance can understand, right?
Yeah.
So product managers have to take estimates from the team. I don't care how you estimate. You can estimate in sprints or iterations or points, or Mike Cohn's perfect team days. I don't care how you estimate. Any estimate through empirical data can be converted into a cost. And then the cost can be converted into a range based on a stochastic model of your prior estimation accuracy. That then gets factored into portfolio management. And where you're going to see improvements in LPM, because I'm working on some improvements for safe LPM, is you're going to see some improvements in using financial modeling practices like risk-adjusted portfolios and the efficient frontier, and looking at certain elements of finance that we haven't quite completed yet, if you will. So, but yeah, financial people, you have to speak their language.
Yep.
You just have to.
Absolutely. Thanks. Thank you. I know we're out of time, so we could have continued the discussion.
Okay, so
I
we
think
have
we're done.
4 minutes. Yeah, we have 4 minutes. So if last
Maybe
minute question.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vikas, you were saying something.
I want to hug.
Hi, hugs.
It can be a big group hug.
Yeah, can we have a big group hug? No, seriously, right? It's not easy. It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a team hurdle.
Can we take a snapshot of everybody on the
Yeah, so if people can show their lovely faces on the videos and all, so we can have that.
Let's start with me. Can you see my face or not?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's take a picture. I don't care about anybody else.
Sure, okay. Okay, we are going for a pic. Yeah, take in.
And if I wasn't on it, we need to do a redo. So. Just kidding. All right.
Okay.
Just joking, guys.
So the real question is this, and I'm going to leave everyone with, right? I've been talking about doing this work for years. I started with, I've been giving keynotes around this. Before COVID hit, I would fly anywhere, everywhere. I've given keynotes from Australia to Nova Scotia to Mexico to Tel Aviv. And I've even only been once, but it was a wonderful couple-week trip to Noida, right? And so the real question I have is, what are you going to do, right? Because and I've said this many times, but honestly, if all we're doing in the Agile community is building better software, I'm going to quit. I'm not sure, we build better software. What we need to build is better people and better societies and better, and if that's what we're here for.
Yep.
So I know what I'm doing about this. I'm doing what I can, which isn't always enough, but it's what I can. I want to know what y'all are going to do. Are you going to try this out, right? Are you going to find a way to bring this to your kids? Are you going to find a way to bring this to your communities? Are you going to find a way to bring this to your schools? So find that. Find something that resonates with you and give it back. Because if you're on this call, you're already ahead of the game than most people in the world. We're all using equipment and telecommunications and computers. You know, we live a very wonderful lifestyle, and we got to give it some of that back, right? And so my commitment to Deeply is I'll definitely do $1,000, but show me the programs. Let's build a global movement. What if I'll leave you with a goal. Here's my new dream log. So you know how we have in Agile the backlog? Who cares? I have a dream log. My dream log is $1,000 into 1 million schools, and I want to watch what happens when kids are in charge of $1 billion.
They'll do a better job.
That's cool.
I'm just telling you, they'll do a better job.
They might.
Okay.
1K, 1M, 1B.
Okay, so we are just on the time, and thanks, Luke, for wonderful session and learning, and a special thanks for funding the initiative for India School. And I hope everyone enjoyed the session and had lots of learning to take back from this. And friends, tomorrow we will not be having any opening note, so we will be starting sharp at 7:30 p.m. IST and directly into the games. So, and you will receive information for the game sessions tomorrow by 5:30 p.m. IST, similarly like you received today. And also there will be an open space. So if you want to present some game discovery or invite everyone to discuss some problem, co-create a solution, then come prepared to and propose a solution, and we'll have sessions for that. So we'll see you tomorrow.
And how will I sent you guys all a copy of my book chapter on buy a feature and a copy of my ebook on portfolio management. How do they get those? Because I sent those to the conference organizers. How are we going to make those available to everyone?
They will get in couple of weeks, maximum 2 weeks. They will get everything, every link, every information related to recordings, related to games, and related to whatever content game tenders want to share with them. So they'll get all the details on that. And tomorrow in the closing circle, they will announce by when we will be sharing them.
Okay, so you guys know that stuff is coming.
No, coming sometime late.
Yeah, it's okay. Stuff is coming. That's good. Okay, bye everyone.
Bye, Luke.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, Lucas.
Lucas, and thanks, Sandeep.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.